Hi guys, and welcome to The Property Locker with O'Malley Property, the podcast that discusses everything property. Today we have our first episode, and I'm your host John O'Malley, and I'm joined today with my colleague Emma Lawson. Thanks, Emma.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So today we're going to talk about seasonal changes and the property market today. So we're thinking about autumn and how good it is to sell in autumn. Autumn gets a bit of a bad rep, doesn't it?
Yeah,
when you're selling houses. Yeah, people think, we're not really going to get many buyers. Mm-hmm. But what's the reality, Emma?
It's probably one of the best times to market your home, to be honest.
Yeah.
Everyone just assumes spring and summer are the highest points of the market, but to be honest, that carries right through into autumn, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. And I mean, when you're thinking about like summer months and spring months, yes, it is a good time to sell, there's no doubt about it. But what do you get there?
You get a lot of window shoppers, a lot of people with extra time on their hand, particularly if they are lucky enough to have the summer holidays off work. Got a lot more time on your hand to basically just window shop. A new property comes to the market, we've got a spare 15 minutes on Saturday morning, let's go see it.
Yeah. And that's the problem, because people are obviously getting their properties ready, cleaning, and it's just a bit of a waste of time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Whereas in the autumn months, we've found that we get a lot more serious buyers that come to the market, because there is a tweak in terms of the temperatures and the weather, to be honest. Usually autumn isn't got a good rep for it being warm. It's usually dull, doom outside. So a lot of clients, if they're wanting to view your property and they're willing to come out the house during that time, they're usually quite serious about purchasing.
Yeah. And it tends to be as well, I find, that when those buyers do come, they've probably lost out a few closing dates and things like that through the summer because of the competition. So they're quite strong in their offer. You tend to find that, we get a bit more for our money as well. Usually if they're offering, it's a serious offer, it's none of this, below home report or, just going in at home report. Usually they're keen to get the property taken off the market. They don't want... A lot of buyers will actually try and do something to avoid it going to a closing date, i.e. put in a strong offer, or they'll be in a strong position by that point. And what I mean by that is they'll have already spoke to a mortgage advisor, they've maybe already got their house on the market, they maybe put that on in summer, they've maybe already got a buyer lined up. So they're in a strong position, they'll give you a strong offer and keen to basically get the property taken off the market. Yeah. And just to back that up really, why don't you give us some figures about what you personally have sold in September so far, or even just this week?
Yeah, so this week, we're only on Thursday, but there has been 6 properties go under offer, some of which were only listed last week.
Yeah.
First week of September. Viewings, I think quite a few of them went on over the weekend. Offers came in on Monday, as soon as the solicitors reopened.
So 6 in what, 4 days?
Yeah.
6 in 4 days. So 6 in 4 days, that's pretty good. In fact, that's really good. And all sold above home report?
Yes. I don't think any of them went for just home report, all above.
All above. So again, that really sort of kind of backs that statement up. Autumn is a good time to sell.
Definitely.
Winter can be good as well. You do get the serious buyers in winter, but there is less to pick from. Usually less properties on the market. Whereas autumn, you've still got an abundance of properties on the market, and the buyers sort of almost, they're there, they're serious, they're ready to buy, so you find that things do go a little bit faster.
Yes, again, when you're purchasing, buyers will know if they purchase in the September months, there is still that high chance that you're going to get your keys to your new home before the end of the year, so you get to spend your first Christmas in your new home. So again, that's probably another telltale as to why clients are quite keen to move within September, get it off the market, get conveyancing underway, and hopefully get an entry date before the year's out.
And what do you think is one of the driving factors about the buyers now? I know that some of them, like I said, they will be working off the back that they lost out in the summer. But what do you think the driving factors are now?
Probably a lot to do with just people being unsure about where the market's going to go next year.
Yeah.
They're quite unsure as to, is this property going to come on the market again, this style of property? It also depends on what their search is for as well. If it's unique, you've kind of just got to, take a stab in the dark and go for it and hope that you're going to get that property. This could be the only time between now and the next 5 years that property comes up.
I think as well as a lot of people want to try and be in before Christmas as well, so that's kind of, there's a lot of factors really at play, isn't there? There is a lot of factors in, and when you take that into account and think about, if you're thinking about selling your property and you're thinking about, maybe I'll just leave it to next year, what would your advice be?
If you're looking to get your property on the market, I would go for it just now. I don't know what you're really going to benefit from waiting another 4 or 5 months to get you into kind of February, or even if you want to hang out till spring, because all you really need is one serious buyer. And if someone, either a neighbour or someone around the corner with a very similar style property, jumps the gun and puts their property on the market this week, then that buyer that you had lined up isn't going to be available come spring next year.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, another buyer may be there, but you're right, the buyers are there right now. People are motivated to buy.
Definitely.
There's a lot of people that are downsizing as well.
Yeah, seen a lot more of that.
Yeah, a lot more of that. That's obviously just to save money month to month. But you do find that, we're getting still, because people are downsizing, they're paying just that little bit extra as well, if they can. So, it's quite good. It's a good time to sell.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, looking at the other 3 seasons, obviously we think that we're in autumn. Autumn is a good time to sell.
Yep.
It's a very strong time to sell. I also really like some of the images, because I always think if you get the right kind of type of property and it's got the leaves down and things like that, I think it can make a nice kind of warm and welcoming feel on your images.
It's quite aesthetically pleasing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah, and I like that. I've always liked autumn images if they're done right.
Yeah.
Not with a big pile of leaves brushed up in the corner and a wet floor and all that,
Yeah.
But if it's done right, it can look really nice.
Yeah.
But thinking about that, like I say, autumn is a really good time to sell. What about the rest of the seasons? What do you think?
So again, as we've mentioned, spring and summer, very, very strong times in the market, and then you touched on the winter periods as well. Usually in terms of the winter months, like you say, there's less stock, and we do tend to find that the buyers do then tend to, closer you are to Christmas, people are tightening the purse strings.
Yeah.
No one's really thinking about that. Christmas is on the mind at that time, so no one's thinking about buying, but spring and summer are still strong. You get obviously better weather, so your photos will look stronger, your advertising is going to be on point, that sort of thing. You're going to entice people to come through the door for your viewings. And then, as we mentioned, on the flip side of that, you've got kind of a lot of window shoppers, but that's not to say your house won't sell in spring and summer.
Yeah.
It's just that you might be kind of controlling a lot more or a higher volume of buyers during that time, so you might find that you've got four block viewings going out that week, so that's extra cleaning, that's prepping your home for marketing. But I always say to all my sellers, all you need is one serious buyers. Don't focus on the numbers that are coming through the door.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, one of the other things I'll say about, for instance, winter. I mean, winter does get a bad rep, and it probably is the worst time of the year to actually buy a house or sell a house anyway. Sorry, buying a house actually can be quite beneficial for you, but selling a house definitely can be it can be a struggle. What I would say though is that one of the busiest day of the year for sites like Rightmove and Zoopla and On the Market is actually Boxing Day. Boxing Day. So we always say if we've got properties that are sitting, we want to basically get them as looking as clean as possible, getting the right price on them, and make sure they're on the market for Boxing Day.
Yes.
So if you do feel that you're thinking about selling and you're thinking to yourself, I'll leave it till after Christmas, what I would maybe do is I'd maybe get photos done now. If you're still thinking about marketing after Christmas, get photos done now. We can get everything set up for you, and you can sit without a home report. We can sit and we can get a home report done just the week leading up to Christmas.
Yep.
And then get your property on the market on Boxing Day, because that is where the most amount of traffic all year round on these sites are. So what you find, I mean, what I will say, we touched on window shoppers in the summer. A lot of those people will be window shoppers, but a lot of those people are serious buyers that are thinking about moving. Christmas is done and they are thinking about where is our next house this year.
Absolutely.
You get in there early and you will have a really, really strong, you'll be in a strong position to sell your property. Strong position
I agree.
to sell your property.
Especially once Christmas is out the way, you're on to Boxing Day, or even that window in between, Christmas and New Year where no one really knows what day it is. That's when clients are thinking, right, okay, this is going to be our last Christmas. Next year's going to be the year that we move.
Yeah. And that's it. And I think as well, like January, if you look at January month, year on year, it's always one of the best performing months.
Yeah. Our January was really strong this year.
Yeah. I mean, for houses settling, not so much, but for houses listing.
Definitely.
Really strong. And I think that is where that whole Boxing Day thing comes in, that people are looking to get on. But if you get on just that wee bit earlier, that's just a little tip for you, because you'll be seen a lot more if you're on that a little bit earlier just before Christmas. Yeah, or even on Boxing Day. And we're happy to click the button. We can schedule it so that it goes on Boxing Day.
Exactly,
so that's no problem at all. So that's good. And obviously we know about spring, we know about summer. These months are traditionally strong months, points of the year to sell. What I will say though is that there's always a lull in summer of about a 4-week period.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks in July, first 2 weeks in August, it's holiday period, isn't it? So
You've also got schools are due to go back in between that, so people usually are jetting off end of July, and then the first 2 weeks in August is prepping, the kids going back. Some people are maybe just going back to work at that point, particularly if they work in, education, etc. They've been off summer. So I feel like house searching or selling your home is put on a back burner on those last 2 weeks of July, first 2 weeks of August.
But I suppose that's also beneficial for autumn, because when you think about it, obviously you've got these people that are holding off when they get back their holiday to get the kids back to school, get normality back in play, and then they're going to say, right, okay, well, let's go and now get this house. Yeah. And it's usually because of the discussion they've had on holiday.
Yes.
So it really does put autumn as one of the more stronger seasons to sell, I would say.
Well, the stats for September alone speak for themselves,
exactly.
I think. If you compare them to July and August stats across the board, not just for O'Malley Property, the stats in September, and we're not even finished second week yet. Yeah,
and we're probably more than what's done in August already, so.
I would say so.
Yeah, no, that's been good. Well, guys, that's our seasonal podcast, our first podcast, just to give you a little bit of insight about the current market and what we think if you are thinking about selling or you're thinking about buying. Then obviously right now is a good time to buy, and it's obviously you get in before Christmas if you do buy right now. So it's another good reason to buy, because you can get your first Christmas in your new home. And that goes for sellers and buyers alike, I suppose, doesn't it? Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us today. It has been quite enjoyable, actually. I've quite enjoyed that wee conversation. I like talking about the market, as sad as I am. But no, thank you for joining me here today, Emma. And thank you guys. If you liked what we spoke about here today, please hit the subscribe button, as we will be releasing these podcasts once a month at the very least. We'll be talking about various different things where we'll go into preparing your house for the market. We'll also talk about maybe the money you might need to sell a house and what the fees are and what to ask an agent in evaluation. And then we're also going to discuss things like buy to let, mass portfolio purchases, company structures for buying property. So we're really going to get into the nitty gritty as well and get right deep into things. And we're looking to have a few guests on as well. So if you think you can come on and give us a little bit of insight of maybe how you run your business, your property business or your letting business, or just if you have a portfolio, how you manage that, then give us a shout. And if you have any questions about how we market the property or any of the topics we spoke about here today, please just comment and we will try our best to answer them in these podcasts. But thank you guys, it's been a pleasure, and thank you, Emma.
No problem at all, thank you.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you.